Welcome to the All Jammed Up podcast presented to you by Music Never Stopped. Today is Thursday, May 22nd, and today we have Reed and Taylor from the band Ajeva.
What are you doing, podcast for Lot?
Yeah.
Come be on a Lot podcast.
Yeah, hell yeah, All Jammed Up.
This dude's doing a podcast. If you want to be on some podcast, come give an interview.
Hell yeah.
All
Good morning, fools. How are we doing today? It is Thursday, May 22nd. It's the All Jammed Up podcast, and I'm your host, Clint Dotson. We got Friday Junior, man. Fun weekend for me planned. Dark Star Jubilee, festival I've been wanting to go to for probably as long as I've been listening to the Grateful Dead, but it just never worked out to be able to go. And this year I've been able to get myself a ticket. So we are stoked. Gonna be seeing some homies there. Hopefully do like a lot podcast type thing. So I'm really excited for that. Today's episode we have Reed and Taylor from the band Ajeva. They're out of St. Pete, and a band that's I've seen a few times back when I was living in St. Pete, and they came to Asheville, came to Black Mountain, if we're getting specific here. But they came to Black Mountain. I got to see them last week. They were a sick band, super cool dudes. So I'm stoked for you guys to get to hear this interview with Reed and Taylor. So let's get right into it.
Hey, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
All right, guys, we are here with Reed and Taylor from the band Ajeva. Did I say that right? Ajeva?
Ajeva.
Ajeva. And we just finished a set so good, someone almost died. That was pretty crazy. In a small venue like that.
That was a little wild.
Pretty intense, yeah. Good thing he was okay though. St. Pete guys, nice to have somebody from St. Pete on the podcast.
We should clarify, we didn't kill him.
Did not kill him. The guy just passed out. He
Yeah.
left on his own accord. All was okay.
Actually, I heard that you left the room and then he fell out, so it might be on you.
Oh yeah, I left to come set up in here, and when I came back, I walked through the door, and the first thing I saw was like him just collapse.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
And I was like, damn, that last song must have been really, really good. Knocked the lights out the guy. I think I'm a little loud. There we go. Okay. So you guys are from St. Pete. The band's been a band for a long time now, right? Like
Yeah.
And you guys were kind of the founding members of it?
Yeah, we're the two original members of the band. We started in 2014.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah. Was it 2014 or 13? Yeah.
That's what I found out on Instagram, 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bass player and guitar lead singer, right? So what got you wanting to pick up a guitar?
I've always been involved in music since I was like young, with just like music programs in school where they had you playing like the recorder and all that stuff. And I was always interested in band. And actually, when I started, I played the trombone for a while.
That's what I played my first year in band, and I did 9 weeks, and I was like, fuck this.
Yeah, so I did it a little longer, but eventually I was kind of over it, and at that point I had started playing guitar. My dad bought me a guitar because I was interested in it, and I was doing that, and one of my friends in the band...
Was it a bass guitar or like a...
No, it was a regular guitar.
Okay.
And I was going to quit, and then he told the band instructor that I wanted to quit, but that I knew how to play guitar, and we didn't have like a bass player for our jazz band at the school, so he convinced me to play bass in the jazz band. And then fast forward a couple of years, I like kind of fell in love with playing the bass over the guitar, and that became my thing. And I've been kind of riding on the bass ever since. That's been my...
Do you have like a certain bass player that's kind of your like who you look up to, or like try to take some of your influences from?
There's a lot of there's a lot of influences, I guess. Like, It depends on like the era. When I was young.
So the specific reason I ask is I feel like you guys are like on my podcast. There's a lot of just like Phil Lesh has inspired me. It's like typical jam bands. I feel like you guys are a little different than that. You're like a little heavier, can get a little funkier at times. So that's why I was curious, like, if not Phil Lesh, and like, who would it be?
So
Say like Jocko.
yeah, I mean, Jocko is definitely an influence on my playing. When I was younger, I was really into like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, so like Flea,
Okay.
like Slappin',
Yeah.
or I really like Tool, so like Justin Chancellor. That like he plays with the pick and stuff, so it's like kind of different style. But that style of playing and stuff really influenced me, and it's like a lot of different players. Like I
Yeah.
got into like more jazz stuff, so like Stanley Clarke and players like that, with like Jocko and things like that. But yeah, it's kind of like all over the spectrum.
Yeah.
I guess.
And then what about you? What made you want to pick up a guitar? Or were you more of a singer first and then shifted to guitar? How's that look for you?
So my first instrument was actually piano.
Okay.
I would play when I was really little. My grandma had a piano in the living room, and I would hear like a commercial on the TV, and I would go and like start picking out the notes of the whatever the melody
Yeah.
of the commercial was, and then I eventually got older. I went to an Aerosmith concert, which blew my mind, and my uncle got me this little guitar. It was a Cinasonic guitar, and it had a speaker in the guitar. It was like a mini little thing, and I could crank up the
Like a mini amp in the
a
guitar?
mini
That's
amp.
crazy.
Yeah, it was attached to it. It was like a speaker on the guitar, and I started playing that, and just kind of liked how that felt more than piano, and was able to start writing stuff, and just really got into it that way.
So do you do a lot of the songwriting for the band?
I think it's all of us. It's
Okay.
really all of us. I'll
Yeah.
come with ideas, and we'll go off of stuff, but it really just depends. Recently, we've been doing a lot of writing together, just in the room, and kind of bouncing ideas off each other.
Nice. That's probably pretty fun, huh? Just like, hey, I have this idea. Like, how can you make it better?
Yeah,
And then like
exactly.
kind of just like brainstorming to this perfect rodent mouth song.
Yeah.
Where did that song come from?
That one was definitely a collaborative effort. I'm trying to remember who had maybe the first riff. I think Mike had the first riff. The intro. We had the intro line. Mike, our guitarist, he was playing the line, and then it kind of built off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Mike wrote like the intro. It's like the verses that feel.
And Mike is the other guitar player, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's weird with songwriting because sometimes things will just like come together pretty quickly, and then sometimes you work on something and you'll like gain a little ground on it, and then you'll get stuck and you have to like come back to it. And I feel like that song was kind of like that, where we were chipping away at it for a while. So Mike had that first part, and then I think Reed came up with the chorus on it.
Okay.
And
Can you talk us a little closer to it?
yeah,
There you go. It's better.
so Reed came up with the chorus. I think I came up with like some of the riffs and the bridge like end part of it. So it was like you're saying, it was really pretty collaborative.
Yeah.
That song, that's kind of like one of my favorite things about writing music with this group of people is the collaborative part of it, where we all, because Reed will bring a lot of things to the table. Sometimes he'll have like a full song, and we all have that kind of mindset where it's okay to like let things change, and like you see where it goes, and it's about what the song could become and what it's going to do, rather than this is what I have right now and like you're stuck on it. And we've like come up with like a lot of cool stuff like that.
Now, when you bring a song to the band and you're like, hey, this is what I think could be a good song, and the band just kind of starts dissecting it, is that like something that is easy for you to like digest, or are you kind of like, this is what I wanted when I brought this, or you're like, I wanted it to stay this way? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're usually like, this shit sucks. No. I think at first when I first started writing, that was kind of the thing. I was like, this was the idea, so I'd like to keep it like this. But now it's just we've written so many songs, and I've written so many songs that it's like to the point where
It's like you've put your ego
hear
aside kind of to make it better.
I want to hear what the other ideas are because I can't think of something outside of what I wrote. So it like gives the song new life, and it gives it like a new groove or a new section or whatever we end up doing with it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So if you guys were the OG members, 2014, how did the band start, and then how has it kind of evolved over the last 10 years with like new people, and like is there a new sound that has kind of happened over the year? Like what's that look like for the progression of Ajeva?
So originally, Taylor and I and another member were going to college together, and I'm trying to remember exactly how we met. I think we had a mutual friend, and we knew that we were kind of looking to start doing something, and she introduced Taylor to us, and then it kind of just built from there. But over time, the first stuff that we were writing was almost reggae, rock, kind of. It was basically reggae.
Was that like a St. Pete influence, you think?
Not necessarily a St. Pete influence, maybe more of just like what we were into at the time and what we were doing, and but now over time it's definitely evolved because you've heard Rodent Mouth. It's kind of like a heavy progressive rock song.
Do you listen to Snosberries at all?
So we just did a show with the Snosberries.
That's kind of like the sound that I got when I listened to you guys. Is like kind of what I
We were in St. Augustine with them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, those guys are great.
Yeah.
And then that was the first time we saw them live. I'd heard stuff online and stuff, but they're awesome.
Yeah, their
They're great
older
to
stuff
watch.
was way more like funk jam, and I feel like the past couple of years, I think they've had some new members as well. They've gotten like a little heavier, and that's kind of the vibe I've gotten to you guys too. Is like
man.
Similar sound a little bit.
They have a great lineup, dude. Like Josh is sick, the bass player.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Ian's sick too on the keys.
Yeah,
he
dude,
plays with a couple.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Ethan and
Ethan
great.
kills me. Ethan's funny.
Yeah, he's fun, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the genre of the music we played over the history of the band has changed and developed, and it kind of what he's saying sort of based on what the members are listening to at the time, I guess. What's inspiring us.
You almost said King Gizzard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you mixing them and the Snosberries up?
Yeah, I kind of think of it as like a. I've never just put up a bunch of balloons right there on my screen. I have no idea what that was.
You're welcome. That's my.
Well,
I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I think like there's like a few bands right now that I like. Obviously, King Giz is way different, but like you guys, Snosberries, and there's another band too that I kind of like put in that kind of because I feel like the term jam band's so broad now. There's like Jamgrass, and then there's like Goose. I guess like prog rock would be the one that like you guys would be like lumped in. Is kind of what I think.
yeah, I think so. To me, the spirit of the band has always, no matter like what genre we've been playing, is we just want to make whatever music is inspiring us at the time.
Yeah.
And that kind of drives what we're going to write
Mm-hmm.
in a way. And obviously like how we're feeling and all that stuff and like what kind of song we want to write, but I don't think we want to be limited by or limited to a certain style kind of thing. Like we want it, which is a thing that King Giz does, where those guys are kind of prolific, where they're writing 4 albums a year for the last like 15 years or 10 years or whatever, and that's insane. But that in itself is inspiring to me, at least. I think a lot of us, where it's like you can kind of do whatever you want. You don't have to be like pigeonholed into this one style or like
Yeah.
this one thing. You can explore, because there's so many different styles of music, and you can still, like the jam or like improvisational thing, like making things up on the spot, you can apply that to all these different genres, and that's like kind of the cool crossover, I think, between a lot of these bands.
Mm-hmm.
Is that element, like the jam improv element, and that, yeah.
I think that's probably why it works for. I mean, you guys have been touring now for over 10 years, and the fact that you haven't pigeonholed yourself into like one. We only want to do this,
Yeah.
and like the fact that it's like you guys are ever evolving, like always trying to do something new and trying to stick to who you are. That probably is a lot of the reason why 10 years into it, you guys are still drawing a crowd to your shows. Like this guy Mike, who lives in Charleston, come following you for 3 days. I mean, that's got to be pretty cool, right?
Hey, shout out Charleston Mike.
Yeah,
See
biggest
him.
fan ever.
Yeah, dude, he's the man.
He was over there showing me. He's like, "You gotta check this Bandcamp. You gotta check this Bandcamp song out."
Yo, when we first met him, he came out to a show, and then he came out to a couple other shows like a few weeks later. And the second time we saw him, he brought us like these coffee beans that he roasted himself, and they were awesome.
Yeah.
And so now like every time we see him, he's like, "Hey, I'm bringing you some of these coffee beans from like Ecuador or
Yeah.
like Congo or something." And we're like, "All right, cool, man." He's like, "Bring your coffee grinder."
He was super
he's a good
nice,
dude,
yeah, man. Like, cause I got here today, and like, I guess was I emailing you back and forth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking to you.
So like, I was trying to set this up, and I was like, I don't really know who I'm talking to. Like, I got here, and like, I saw you guys over there, and I was like, you know, they're doing their thing, catching up with friends, so I didn't want to like, hey, I'm the podcast guy, can't do this afterwards. And then Mike, the guitar player, came out to me, and he was like, I was like, hey, I'm the podcast guy, like, I just wanted to like introduce myself, and we could, you know, whatever. And he was like, coming out, man, coming out.
Yeah.
And then I go over there, and like half of you guys are named Mike, so I was just like, I don't know who's who over here.
Big Mike crowd.
Yeah, seriously.
3 mics.
But going back to Florida, so, there's a few like Florida jam bands I feel like now that are kind of up and coming. There's like Tanned, Tamayo. Do you guys know that guy, Tamayo?
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
band. And then like the Moonstone Riders.
Yeah.
They're all like Moonstone Riders. I used to love the Moonstone Riders until they got rid of their keyboard player. That dude was a fucking animal. Do you know what I'm talking about? He had like long hair.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was like a cool lineup. That
Yeah.
they had that magic going on. That
And then he left, and I was just like, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah.
They're like kind of doing country now. It's the last time I saw it.
They're still great. We did I'm trying to remember, where did we play with them?
They play in like Stewart a lot.
Tuffy's, was it not? It wasn't Tuffy's,
they
was it?
did. It was us and the Heavy Pets, and they opened up.
Yeah. Okay. So in Sanford, we did a show with them not too long ago. It was
At Tuffy's?
us, the
Is that
Heavy
that-
Pets,
okay.
and them, and they were good. They were great.
Yeah, they're fun. So we found them at Hulaween in like 2021.
Were they doing the Renegades?
Yeah, and like we heard like they were playing that Doors song, and instead of being Mojo Rider, they're doing Moonstone Riders. Yeah. And we were like all just like huffing nitrous, and we heard that, and we were like, we gotta go find them. And then like we like followed them because they would come to St. Pete sometimes, and they used to play at that bar at Treasure Island, Katiki.
Katiki.
Yeah, they would play there a
classic.
lot, so we would go see them. And then they lost their keyboard player, and like they are still good. The guitar player is really talented. And what's the lady's name? Marsha. She's a good
Marsha.
singer. Yeah, she's a good singer. But it's not the same without the keyboard player. But that Tamayo guy, you guys are Tamayo band. Have you guys ever played with those guys?
Yeah, we've had them open on a couple shows. We did Gainesville with them, and then a couple other spots.
One of our last hometown. They opened for us one of our last hometown shows at the Spot Bayboro.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is a great kind of newer spot. It's like a mid-tier cap venue where they're
Uncle John's band plays there quite a bit.
they
I think.
do every
Yeah.
Thursday there now.
Oh, they do
They
there?
used to do
Skippers.
Skippers. That's right,
Dude, that was like, so I lived in Tampa for 3 years and then St. Pete for a little while. And like when they would play Skipper, I was like 10 minutes away from it too.
Yeah,
So it's like every Thursday
Dude,
go
they
see
did
Uncle
that
James.
for like 20
Like
years. I
yeah,
feel like.
they've played like over
It's-
2,000 shows there or
yeah,
something.
man, it's cool. That's like one of those legacy bands where they've
Yeah.
been doing it for so long and they're carrying that torch.
I used to get like just hammered drunk and go to those shows on Thursday, and then at the end of the show, I would like go up to Rich, the guitar player, and I'd be like, "Yo, Rich, we gotta get coffee sometime soon." And he'd be like, "Yeah, man, whenever you want." And then, like next week, I just do it again, and he'd be like, "All right, man, we're gonna do that."
He just starts bringing you coffee. To the
Pretty
show. He's
much,
like, hey,
yeah.
Man, here's that coffee.
He's probably like, "This kid's ridiculous."
Yeah.
I've been trying to get in the podcast for like so long. So like I saw him. So I'm gonna give you this whole lore behind this guy. So I went to Sweetwater Festival in like 2021 or 2022, and I was at Lettuce, and there was like a big circle around this dude dancing, and it was him. And he's just like killing it. And like I went up to him at the end of the show, and I was just like, "Yo, you just crushed it." And like, I went to pat him. He's like, "No, no, no," and like he was clearly like he had been indulging, and like whatever. And then I see him at and I told my friends back in St. Pete this story, and they're like, "Yeah, whatever, man. You're crazy. You're crazy." And then I see him at Hulaween like the same year, and I'm like, "Yo, that's the dude I've been telling you about. That's the dude I'm telling you about." And then he goes up to one of my friends. He's like, "You need to smoke this pipe." And my friend's just like, "I'm not gonna do that, dude. I'm not gonna do that." And then he was like, "Yo, is that your boy?" So we started calling him the Lizard King, and then like I just kept running into him, and he would always be like, "Nice to see you, nice to see you." And I saw him at Tipper and Friends like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "You want to do the podcast?" And he was like, "I would love to. I'll be at your camp tomorrow." And just never talked to me like the rest of the weekend again. So he's like the most elusive guy ever, and I just like his Instagram bio is like lawyer by day, guitar by night.
He's a
Dude,
lawyer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have
he's
so
like
many
a defense
questions for that
attorney.
guy.
Yo, was a wild man.
I believe
Awesome
it.
dude. So we met him in Gainesville, where we were up there playing shows, and his band opened up for us a couple times. That's where we first met him, and then eventually he moved down to St. Petersburg, where we live, and a couple of us hosted jam down there every Sunday, and he would come out to the jam all the time. He still does like come out fairly regularly, and he just like became a friend, and he's like a great dude, man. And he's a wild man in the sense that he's very put together. And
That's what I'm so like intrigued by him, because like I feel like I've seen him like out of his mind, but then every time I talk to him like face to face, he's very nice and like very well put together.
Yeah.
But then it's like I see him when the music comes on, it's like he shuts out everything. He's like, "I did my fun, leave me alone. I'm gonna enjoy this how I want to enjoy it."
He gets into it.
Yeah.
It's cool. He's a good dude, man.
Speaking on the Florida scene though, I feel like Florida's kind of a weird. That's why I moved here to Asheville. Because I was like, I feel like there's none of the bands I want to see want to come down here, and it's just like not super jam adjacent, whatever you want to say. So I want to know, like, what do you guys think about like being a jam band in Florida? Do you think you'd have more success like somewhere else, or do you think that like Florida's where you're supposed to be for what you guys are doing?
I think logistically, it's a nightmare just to get out of the state to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Which we have in the past talked about, like the Carolinas and somewhere in the middle of the country. But you're talking about five
Lives.
people's
Yeah.
lives, 5 families, and you're I mean, our keyboardist Lyndon, he's already uprooted his where he was from to come and play with us. So it's like it's a hard thing to do to get everyone to be on the same page about that. But I think like you're saying, it's not huge, which kind of gives us a little bit of like for people that like that, for people that like jam bands and people that like rock music and funk music, it's almost there's I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. It's like they're kind of giving, it's like we're giving them something to go to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To experience.
Yeah, and I can agree with that because, like, we talked a little bit offline about this, but, like, Cage Brewing, like, that, whatever with that venue, but, like, there's a Dead band playing at least once a week there, and
Yeah.
like that's pretty fucking sick for someone that loves the Dead. And there's not a whole like Denko's never gonna go down there, but
Yeah. So I think what he's getting at is maybe it's not one of these meccas or like bigger, more recognizable scenes where people talk like it's known for like being like a hub of
Yeah.
music, but the people like the fans there that are there, they appreciate what's going on,
Mhm.
and it's like more, it's really close knit.
yeah, I
And
agree.
There is a scene there, and I love Florida, and I love because I mean that's like where I'm from, man, and like it's been really cool to see how it's changed, and it's like turned into it's kind of grown into its own a little bit, and I think there's like a lot of great bands from down there that deserve more recognition, and that I feel like if they were up in the Northeast or up in the Midwest or Colorado or whatever,
Yeah.
they would be kind of hitting more than they are now.
Like who? Like who do you think specifically?
Guavatron, Tan, the Heavy Pets.
Yeah,
Uh,
you can say your own name. Come on, to your
Yeah.
own horn.
I mean, we're doing our thing too, man. But it's I think it's just like you said, it's logistically hard to get to
Yeah.
Florida.
Mm-hmm.
The first out of state markets, like bigger markets, are like 6 and 8 hours away from where we
Yeah.
are. And then if you're like some of our like peers are from South Florida, so it's even farther. You gotta
Mhm.
drive like 10, 12 hours
Yeah.
to get out. So it makes sense that people don't come there. But
Those people also don't get to play at venues like Katiki that are like on the water. And
yeah,
then,
dude, that was like kind of our, like where we got to cut our teeth a little bit. Katiki, when we first started, we would play there all the time. We'd do like Sundays there, and it was like Ajeva church.
Yeah,
Is what, and
That's
it'd be
sick.
us playing for like all these like old heads and like just doing our thing and learning and growing, and that's a fun venue, man.
yeah. I like
Cool spot.
Janice is one of my favorite venues, dude. I
Yeah.
love, and I've seen Green Sky there. I've seen Dogs in a Pile there. I saw some other people there too. Do you guys know that kid Forrest in St. Pete? He like puts on events. Forrest.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We actually did a podcast with him.
Yeah, we did.
Does he do a podcast?
He was at one point. It
Okay.
was, I don't know if he's still doing it.
Yeah, because I met him. We like talk on Instagram sometimes, and he was gonna do mine, and just it never worked out when I was there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, he didn't mention anything about a podcast.
Yeah, maybe he's not doing it anymore.
You guys are also like OG Hulaween people. You guys have been playing OG Hulaween for forever, right?
We've played it 6 times.
Are you guys playing this year?
Not this year.
No. You guys
Yeah.
played last year though, right?
It's usually every other year.
Every other year.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's usually.
Do you guys have any like crazy stories from playing Hulaween?
So we were playing hula one weekend, and somebody asked us to do a basically a renegade set, which is you set up at a campsite and you play all night. You just play till the sun comes up or till somebody comes and tells you to stop.
I'm getting to that age now where I hate renegade sets.
I am on the same page because I want to sleep.
Yeah.
And so we played the Renegade set. We played our set. Then we played the Renegade set. We got done, I don't know, it had to be 4 or 5 in the morning. And then we had another festival to play the next day. So we drove to North Carolina.
Oh, that's like at least an 8-hour drive, right?
At 5 a.m. We drove to North Carolina, played the festival, and then drove back right after we played to Hulaween because we were like, we just want to go back.
What year was this?
It had to be like
16 or 17.
6 years ago.
Okay.
But
That's
what's crazy is at the festival that we drove to in Charlotte.
What festival was it?
What was it? It was with a band called Akita,
Okay.
which they're like a funky
Is that,
rock
you know,
reggae band.
I don't know. They don't play anymore, but it was Your Mama's Big Fat Booty Band.
Uh-huh.
They were there.
Okay. In Charlotte. I don't know.
It was like a Halloween festival, right? Or some kind of
That sounds about right. If
fall
you left
harvest
Hulaween for
festival.
it.
Yeah. But
So at that festival, they had this station where you could launch pumpkins at a target with a giant slingshot. And so we're like leaning back and like launching these huge pumpkins at the wall, and they're smashing on the wall. And then this guy goes up to do it, and he pulls it back, and his girl's holding him back, and he's like leaning back, and he lets go, and it goes, and it doesn't come out of the slingshot, and it comes back and smashes his face. Just a massive pumpkin just. And
Was he fucked up?
Yeah, it like
Smashes
yeah,
orbitals.
smashed his face, and like they shut the whole thing down, and like had to stop doing the slingshot, but it was crazy.
Speaking of shutting things down and festivals, were y'all there for the Frick Frack Blackjack like 2 years ago?
yeah.
Oh, we heard about it.
Dude,
We're talking about the
It was like all kinds of crazy.
Anal plug tug of war, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, they didn't have them this year,
No, I think they're banned.
and they didn't have them last year.
Yeah, I think it's like banned now.
I don't know. I say bring them back.
Let the kids play.
Bring them back. Let them have their fun.
Where was I about to go? Okay, so you guys are the OG members of the band. We covered that. The keys and drums guys are pretty new, right?
So, guitar player Mike Nivens, he joined the band in 2019. Lyndon, the keyboard player, joined in like 2020,
Okay.
and Tucker, the drummer, he started playing with us like 2 years ago. So we had a different drummer, and then we stopped playing with him for a while, and there was like basically a year of limbo where we had a lot of really awesome guys kind of filling in with us here and there.
Mhm.
We had Aaron Buckingham, who plays with Stealing Peaches, or like the Groove Orient, he filled in. Ural Morris from this band Ant Hill Cinema. Michael Tillis, who used to play with the Fritz, filled in with us a couple times.
Okay.
So like a bunch of awesome dudes, but one of them was Tucker, who's now our drummer. He filled in a few times, and he was kind of the one that fit in the best, and just hang wise, like with his attitude and just having fun and shit, and also his playing, musically, which is the most important thing. And so like I think a little more than a year ago now. It was like last March or April he like joined full time.
Okay.
And he's been playing with us since then.
Do you think, so like that year of limbo, and then I don't want to speak for you guys, but I'm just assuming that the end of the previous drummer wasn't probably the best years of the band, and then limbo with the drummers, different drummers, and then now finding a guy that really fits. How much do you think that's leveled up the band, adding him to the crew?
I think I feel like we're playing the best we've ever played right now, and it's the most sincere, or at least one of the most sincere like forms of the band.
Yeah.
Where we can really do what we want to do without like any kind of internal judgment or anything like that. Like everyone is like pretty on board to like see things through.
Okay, so going off of that, like again, you guys have been a band for over 10 years now, and feeling the best that you're playing ever is happening in year 11. What, like, I don't really know my question yet. But just like thinking of like, I feel like it's so hard in life to just like stay committed to one thing, and like not give up when things get hard, or not try something different when it gets hard. How have you guys been able to just like stay the course for this long, and now 11 years later finish a show and be like, this is the best we've sounded since we've been doing this?
I can't speak for Reed, but I'll speak for myself. I think for me, it's something I'm really passionate about, and I love doing it, and it like playing music with like a group of people and creating things and doing it. It's like this this thing that I'm like addicted to almost.
Yeah.
I love it, and it's really it's fun and it's amazing, and I believe in it.
Yeah.
And I, at like multiple points throughout the whole thing, I've believed in like what we're doing, and one of the constant at this point the constant through the whole thing has been like, Reed, I believe in like what we do together.
Fuck yeah.
And the guys that we're playing with now, I like believe in what we do together. And
Awesome.
It inspires me. It makes me want to like keep going and not give up.
Mhm.
And I just love what we do.
Yeah, and I think that like you hear a lot of people saying like, it inspires me. I love what we do. You know, like. But the hard part is sticking to it, and like as many good days as you have, there's just as many shit days, and I think that's like a very important thing, is like you have to get through the shit to get to the good, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. And I mean, 10 years of doing just like shows, traveling, free shows where there's 20 people and someone has a seizure halfway through, like, or at the end of it, like whatever, you know, like. It's hard to stay the course, and I think that's like a super sick thing that you guys have been able to do, and like hold your chest up high. And it's like, this is the best we've sounded 11 years into it. That's really awesome.
It's definitely a grind, but I think that I would rather fail trying than give up and not know what could have happened.
Nice. Well, the last question I had is, I know you guys did like a little 3-day Key West run, right? And one of those days you brought out the horns, right? There's horns, Tromphonic Horn Symphony or something.
So that was actually in Orlando.
Oh, okay,
The
it wasn't
Orlando
Key West?
area. Yeah.
Gotcha. So Mike, big #1 fan Mike, was telling me that like the horns kind of leveled you guys up, and it was like one of the best he's ever heard you guys hear. Will there ever be a plan to bring horns to the band permanently?
I think it's hard to say right now. Financially, it doesn't make sense, and logistically, travel-wise, it doesn't make sense. But I wouldn't say never.
Okay.
Because I mean, we do play a lot of funk music and
We got to get
stuff.
Taylor to bring that trombone back out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely possible in the future, and we have done it for festivals and stuff like that. We did like a whole
Yeah,
Michael
like special
Jackson
occasions.
tribute where we
Okay.
had a horn section, and you know, it just depends on the situation. But I think in the future, possibly.
Okay. Cool, man. Well, I think that's all my questions. It's getting late. You guys got to... Oh, one last question. You're a Gulfport guy. Blueberry Patch. You guys ever play the Blueberry Patch?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We've played there a bunch of times.
Really?
That's one of the coolest.
Places in the world.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's
It-
mini Hulaween is what I call it.
It's going into a different world. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a mini festival in like someone's backyard, essentially.
Our studio is there.
Yeah, it's
Down the street.
yeah, we're like right down the road from that.
That's
but-
so funny. We were literally a mile away from each other living for the past couple
man.
years.
Yeah, but yeah, Blueberry Patch is amazing. It's cool because like you could be. It's one of those spots where people might not know who it is playing there, but they just know the spot,
Yeah.
and people show up there, and you could be like someone from out of town who's never played there before. No one knows who you are, and there'll be 200 or 300 people there.
Yeah.
Just because they know there's music there, and it's
Supporting live music.
It's such a
just
sick
to
venue,
support.
too. Yeah.
And yeah,
Cool, man. Well, it's almost past my bedtime. You
Yeah.
guys got to get
You're looking
back to
tired,
Mills
man.
River tomorrow. Say it again?
You're looking like a sleepy guy.
Yeah, I look like shit is what he's saying. All right, guys. Anything you want to plug before we wrap it up?
All right, come see us on the road. We're all over the place. May 23rd. Yeah, go to our website, ajevamusic.com.
It's in the description.
Yeah, you can find all our dates, live video, recordings. We record most of our shows, put them on Bandcamp. But May 23rd, we're going to be at the Sugar Shack downtown in Bonita Springs, Florida.
Nice.
June 6th, we're going to be on the east coast of Florida at Guanabanas in Jupiter.
Nice.
Both of those are free shows. Come see us. July 10th, we're going to be back in Charlotte. I don't know where yet, but we're going to be back. July 11th, we're at the Charleston Poorhouse,
Nice.
which that's Fish Weekend
Fish,
in
yeah.
Charleston. So come hang out with us if you don't got tickets or I don't know, just come hang.
Are you guys playing before or after Fish? Or is it like during?
We're playing. It's like we're on the deck stage there, so it's like
Okay.
earlier.
Okay.
I think it's like 6 or 7.
Nice.
So we might be before.
Yeah.
I think it's before. July 12th, we're going to be in Atlanta at the Moon Shadow Tavern, Tucker, Georgia, which is like
Okay.
greater Atlanta. Yeah. July 17th, we're going to be at the
How do you
Funky
remember all
Biscuit.
this?
The Funky Biscuit in Boca Raton, South Florida. Awesome venue. Come see us there. The 18th, we're going to be in Melbourne, Florida. The 19th, we're going to be hometown show. Hometown, dude, like a steel trap, baby. All right. 19th July, we're going to be hometown throwdown, Bayboro Brewing,
Okay.
with the Ain't Sisters from Atlanta,
Nice.
Georgia.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're sick, dude. So if you're in town, if you're out of town, buy
'em,
tickets,
come.
fly to St. Pete, come see us. It's gonna be sick.
You just got jammed.
It's already recording. Okay, let's go right into it, I guess. Welcome back to
Chloe's
Corner.
Corner. You almost forgot.
I meant to bring up the welcome back from the interview
Oh.
with Taylor and Reed, but I said welcome to, so I was like, how can I switch this?
Welcome to Taylor and Reed.
But regardless, welcome to Chloe's Corner.
Hello, hello. I'm blanking.
Yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a long week for the both of us, and it's only Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
I know.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, we had a widespread this weekend. I started a new job yesterday, and then we go to Dark Star Friday.
Yeah.
So it's a busy week for the kids.
But then we have, well, I guess I have several weekends of no more travel. Really, my biggest concern is always kid. I just feel bad leaving him so much. Look at him.
Well, he's a demon.
So I have too many topics.
Damn.
I have too many topics before we get into our widespread review.
Okay.
First one is just a little local shout out for the Asheville people that know of Sludge. Sludge Incorporated.
Incorporated.
They are doing a summer tour.
Badasses.
Yeah, sick. Go see Sludge Barbie. Go do some sludge wrestling.
I think
And
the other one's like,
go watch a sludge movie.
shouts out Declan from Asheville Music Hall.
Big shouts out to Declan. Guys, look into Sludge Incorporated, okay? Just have a little gander.
Check it out. I followed them. Go on my page. It blinked on the video again, but we're not. We're just
It's
gonna
okay.
deal with
We'll
it.
just keep rolling. But yeah, so if you want to support local Asheville artists, creators,
Go see a sludge.
go find a Sludge Incorporated.
They're
Yeah.
doing like the whole country, aren't they?
I think they are, yeah, because they're going to Portland. Portland is gonna love Sludge Barbie.
Yeah.
Sludge Barbie might get naughty in Portland. But yeah, they're going all over.
As soon as I pick my nose, the video comes back on.
The other topic is, well, I guess this is 2 in 1. On our way to Charleston, we listened to the new Freedom Junction,
Mhm.
and we listened to the new Mustang McGee. McGee. Sick. 2 sick albums.
Yeah, I was honestly, Sugar Legs was Freedom Junctions was sick, but Mustang McGee surprised me how good that one was.
That, I agree with that. The kid agrees. I agree. The Freedom Junction, you're gonna have to leave if you do this. The Freedom Junction album had maybe like 8 songs, I want to say, and we've heard some of the songs before. Daniel Donato lets old Sugar Leg play what he wants.
I would think too that a couple of those songs maybe Donato has played on Mustangs too, because I think Mustang does. I could be wrong, but I think I've heard that he does a lot of writing for them.
Mustang?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be something that I want addressed. I want information on who does the writing in that.
I think we're gonna interview him this weekend.
Knock on wood. Let's hope so. That'd be awesome.
Their schedule's quick.
This week? Oh, they are there this weekend, huh?
On Sunday.
I completely forgot that they were gonna be there. That's sick.
He wants to do it right after their show, but then that has me missing some of Warren Haynes.
That's difficult.
Yeah, so.
I guess we're just gonna see how it all lines up.
But if we do it right after the show, there's like a 30-minute break. So, I mean, if we get a 45-minute interview, I miss the first 20
15,
minutes. Yeah.
20, yeah. We can
Yeah,
run.
yeah.
We can run around.
It seems like the ground seemed like pretty small though, because I saw the picture and it's like the tents and then the venue, like just one stage is right
Yeah.
there. I'm excited. I mean, I just am stoked for something that's like going to be so dead centric.
Me too. I feel like, I feel like since we've been going a lot, and I feel like when we get around like the Grateful Dead community is when we really get to slow down.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to relax and lay in the grass and
all the homies are going to be there. We found out this weekend.
Yay! Yeah, Mason and
So
Sean and
stoked when
Troy.
Mason told me that they were going.
They're all. I
I
don't
think
think.
Janice is, but
I don't think Gigi's gonna be there, but.
and Garrett, our new friend Garrett.
Oh yeah, Garrett. He was so
It
nice.
was-
Okay, so yeah, we discussed the albums. We can go straight into Widespread now.
Okay.
Seeing them all was amazing.
Yeah.
We saw Harley and Anastasia and Olivia from the Lot podcast, the first one.
We got to go to the poorhouse.
We did finally go to the Poorhouse. Super sick venue.
Yeah.
I agree with what you said. It's kind of like a Skippers on steroids.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I would consider it that one on steroids though. I think Skippers would be the one on steroids in my mind.
Really?
Yeah, because it's
I
like
think
it's dirt.
as far as like a whole establishment, yes, because Skipper has I can't talk. Skippers has really good food too. That's like a sleeper part about Skippers. Their wings are fire. I
don't
think
know
the
if I've eaten
Poorhouse is just a venue. Skippers is a restaurant.
Yeah, I don't think the Poorhouse has food. So Skippers is cool.
Yeah.
If Skippers had the Poorhouse bands, it'd be the
Yeah.
best venue on earth.
Skippers had like maybe Keller Williams one year,
Yeah.
and it sold out like so fast.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, there's probably not that much room in there, capacity wise. So what's your opinion on I'm now a Widespread convert.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be 24/7 panicked all the time.
I had a Widespread panic in the middle of the first that second. I
Have a Widespread.
was just overwhelmed, and I was like, I just need to take a break. But the break was perfect. Got some Chick-fil-A nuggets in me, a Mick
Yeah.
Ultra,
Yeah.
and the second set was maybe my favorite set of the entire year.
Yeah.
The second set,
The entire year.
like 2025.
Okay, but third set of Billy is in 2025.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
like you're gonna get all technical on me.
I mean, yeah, it's you celebrate midnight and then you have the whole third set.
Okay, well, apart from the first hour and a half of 2025,
Here you go.
I really liked the second set, Billy Strings, night 3 of
Mhm.
Asheville, as well. So I was like thinking of that one, but I was like, no, that whole show would be the Widespread show, but the second set particular of Widespread, and they played Ride Me High.
They played Ride Me High. The boy got a ride. I was so high during this that I turned to Clint because he was like, yeah, yeah. And everyone around him is getting so excited, and Davey is like hugging him. And I look at him and I go, is this Spider-Man? I had no clue it was coming. I thought it was Spider-Man.
I almost took I was sober. I was sober at this point, and I almost took my shirt off. Just
Yeah.
like pure ecstasy. I
Yeah.
was so excited.
I would not have been surprised. Can you imagine
I
though?
like grabbed it and I was like, "What am I doing?"
Could you imagine like 25 seconds after you take your shirt off? Or maybe even like after the song, you have your shirt off and then you're just stood there
Yeah,
like shirt in hand.
that's why I was just like, "What am I doing right now?" But
I also have to say, Davey was the perfect person to go to that show with.
yeah, Davey's the man.
He had his little boogie. Did not talk that much. The fucking chompers were out.
First set chompers were deadly.
There, oh, yeah, okay. That is my one thing. I guess it's because we were in Charleston, though, right? The frat bros they were out to play, and it wasn't the frat bros that were I liked those boys in front of us.
Those were the frat bros, and those were the bros as well. They were awesome.
The guy next to Davey that was bugging about a bag of
yeah,
cocaine
yeah.
he's talked to him for like half the first set about getting cocaine, and he finally left. And he was like, "Yo, you gonna save my spot?" And Davey was like, "It's GA, dude. I'm not gonna fight for your spot." Like, yeah. But so the chompers were out. The frat boys were talking, but we did see a lovely moment between two young lads on mushrooms having a real nice bonding
Dude, somebody came up
experience.
to me in the bathroom, and he was just like, "Yo, do you have any coke you can sell?" And I was like, "Do I look like that guy that just has coke to sell somebody?" And I was like, "No, dude." And like there was like three people around me in the bathroom, and they were like, "That guy's bold. Just go up to someone and ask for
Yeah,
coke."
yeah.
I mean, I guess you can't
I mean,
win the lottery if you don't play the raffle.
Do you remember you at Hulaween?
Halloween's way different than a bathroom.
You were
Always
so
gotta call me out on this, huh? You always gotta call me out.
so funny, dude. You were so focused on not sounding like a narc that you just came off so white dude narky, and it was
He
so
was just
funny.
like, "Nah, dude, I don't have any." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry." Even then.
I'm so sorry. Gave up to you. He's literally under his hood doing it. He's like, "No, dude."
I knew
Funny.
he had it.
Sorry, and I just had to bring it up because it is always funny to me. But that second set of widespread was super cool, and the people were awesome. We did get a lot podcast for the peeps.
Coming out Monday.
Yeah,
It'll be on Monday. I still have to edit.
you have
that.
a lot of editing to do on that, huh?
Yeah.
Rats. Well, it will be there Monday, guys.
I might maybe you can drive some Friday and I can do it some of it.
What if I just proclaimed
I'm gonna have it done by Friday.
What if I just proclaimed myself after you said that as a passenger princess and refused to drive anymore?
Do you hear that, dog?
Yeah, he's bonkers bananas.
One more thing about widespread. The first night, 45 minutes into the set, maybe that dude on the stretcher.
No, yeah.
He's in a stretcher and he just like puts.
Yeah, he was just
rock and roll.
And we were up at the top, and it was directly across from us, like all the way at the top. We just saw him he's getting wheeled away, and you just see him like this, and we're like, that fucking guy. I felt bad for him. I was like, he from all the way across, he looked like an older gentleman, like upper middle age. Yeah, but fucking God bless him. God bless him. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it, right? We got anything else?
No, I got nothing else.
So we do have Dark Star this weekend. I guess next Thursday, Chloe's Corner will be another recap of that. And we have a lot podcast coming for you Monday. And then Thursday, I don't know who's gonna be that interview. So just hold on and wait.
Oh. Yeah. It'll be a good week. We got a good month coming up.
I know, yeah. I gotta get better at this time management now that I'm not working from home.
Yeah, I had that thought.
I mean, I'd be able to do it. We were just out of town last weekend and this weekend, so it made it a little tougher.
It's a little cramped, yeah. And then with you starting this week,
I'm
it
just
is a
gonna
little
start back working
inconvenient.
a little bit. That's all right.
That's right.
All right.
And then after we get back from Dark Star Jubilee, we are hammering the promotion
Promotion for
promotion for the fest.
All Jammed Up Festival, July 19th, One World Brewing West. See you there.
See you there. Get a hotel. Maybe you'll book the same hotel as my parents, and you guys could be room neighbors.
Cool.
Oh, my parents did come and stay with Kid for the weekend while we were in Charleston. And my mom, while we were at the show one night, just sends us a selfie of her with Jackson.
Yeah.
She hadn't met him before, but she was like, I know this is Clint's friend, and just sends Clint a selfie. I guess it was us, but my phone was dead all weekend. But sends us a selfie of them together. I just thought that was a funny little tidbit. So if you ever see my mom, go be her friend.
You'll love it.
You will love it.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, guys, have a great weekend. And remember, wherever you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be.
Come along, have a drink with me. We can talk about the world and how the world it turns so slow. Oh, oh. Day and night I found cars they drive and planes they fly. I look into the sun and the sky, you're so bright. It's you that I have found. Oh, and I know there's not much longer now. Or if the world would just slow down. Stars, they sail across the sky, and I could watch you dance all through the night. When the rhythm is right, oh, and I know the sun is rising now. Or if the world would just slow down. With me and I'll move with you, and I could spend the rest of my life by your side. It's you that I have found. Oh, and I know it's not much longer now. Or if the world would just slow down. There's not much longer now. Or if the